Hi, I'm Dr. James Farmer, and I want to talk a little bit about dating. I wrote a book on finding the right relationship and how to avoid toxic partners. That's something that I run into all the time. People are just having a tough time finding the right mate. Well, I remember years ago, and I can go back a few years where we were told you want somebody that looked like a Hollywood model or a handsome Hollywood star, and they kind of set the foundation for what a lot of us were looking for in that time period, and we became very frustrated. I was telling somebody uh, it was a couple of days ago. I just said to them, I remember back when I was in high school and first year of college and so forth, a lot of women who had a Coke type of body. It was shaped like that and so forth. They're just beautiful. But it's 20, 30 years later now, and that Coke has become a basketball. Same thing with guys. Guys have added on that belly. They've gotten bald. You don't stay that way. So I tell folks, you want to look inward. Yes, what they look like on the outside is important, but you also want to be looking inward. What kind of heart do they have? And a lot of folks don't want to spend any time. They're so busy looking at what someone said called the visuals. They're looking at the car, they're looking at the job title, they're looking at the money and so forth. But I can tell you this, a lot of other people are looking at that too. You need to look inward. Now, as we get going with this series of how to find the right mate and so forth, I'll talk about how to train your mate. There's not much on that. I've looked in a few of the YouTubes to see how people are handling that subject. They'll have no clue what they're talking about. But I will get into that. You ladies, you're going to have to train your mate. Now, here's the thing that you're missing. You have to train your mate without him knowing that you're training him. Right. You have to train him without him knowing that he's being trained. Because once you've trained him, he's going to be very happy and pleased that you've taken the time to do that. Of course, he won't know that you've done it. But a lot of women don't know how to train. They just know how to be mean and angry and so forth. And the same thing with guys. We'll talk about that another time. But guys are having problems too, trying to get things under control with their females. Again, you want to look on the inside of a person. I love those four attitudes I use. If you remember in an earlier YouTube, I talked about the four attitudes: the resisting attitude, the controlling, acceptance attitude, and flowing attitude. Well, why would you want to go and find a partner who has an accepting attitude? You want somebody, excuse me, I should have said resisting attitude. I'm sorry about that, because I've seen women end up with guys who are just very down, depressed, and sad, but they got the visuals. They got the car, they got the house, but they don't seem to get life going for them very well. They'll pick that kind of guy and then want to know 5 years later, why did I end up with him? Pick somebody who's moving forward, who has a positive way of thinking, such as the accepting attitude type of person, or the flowing type. One who says, all right, it's no big deal. I got a challenge before me. I can get around it. You have to take time to look at and I'm speaking to the women, your man. I tell women, you have to study that man like you're in school, you're in college, you're trying to learn or get a degree or something. You should know that when he blinks out of order, something's wrong. You should know his breathing pattern, when the skin color's changing, when the hair falls off his head, everything about that man. You should never have to raise your voice at him. If you have to raise your voice and yell and scream at him, you don't have the right man. A trainer, on the other hand, all she does is just raise her eyebrow, and he knows he better get in line. But if you don't know anything about training, then you're pretty lost with what I'm talking about. So we're going to be talking about how to find the right relationship. I'll even give you a formula to use, and I know it works at least about 90% of the time if you use it and so forth. And so we're going to have some fun with that.